Hi everyone, how are you doing today? I really hope you're having an amazing time wherever you're watching this from. Thank you so much for tuning in to Meghan and Harry Tales with me, your host, Adrian. Now get ready, because what I have for you today is the kind of poetic justice that makes you believe in karma and in the unstoppable power of purpose. We're diving into two massive topics today. First, the slow and inevitable downfall of hate-fueled British media programmes that built their brand off Meghan and Harry's slander. Second, Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan's continued rise, led by the roaring success of the Invictus Games. Let's get into it. Let's rewind to a few weeks ago. May 20th to be exact, there was a major shake-up announced in British daytime TV. Shows like Loose Women and Lorraine, long-time staples of the ITV lineup, were suddenly hit with schedule cuts. That's right, the very same shows that endlessly criticised and vilified Meghan and Harry were now losing airtime and relevance. ITV, which has housed these programmes for years, released a statement confirming that Loose Women would only air on a seasonal basis for 30 weeks of the year moving forward. Think about that. A programme that used to run practically every weekday, now reduced to seasonal programming. Why? Let's just say viewers finally had enough of the negativity. And now the plot thickens. It was just reported that Loose Women has been pulled from ITV's schedule once again, this time for 6 consecutive days. No live audience, fewer panellists, lower ratings, and all signs pointing toward failure. This, my friends, is karma. If you've been following British media for any amount of time, you know this truth. Certain programmes thrived off Meghan and Harry's pain. They'd use Meghan's name in every headline, in every segment, in every debate, not to uplift her, but to drag her down. They'd question her authenticity, mock her compassion, and twist every positive action into something sinister. And what did they gain from it? Views, clicks, headlines, but it was always short-term gain with long-term damage. They underestimated the power of truth and overestimated the public's tolerance for cruelty. Loose Women is one such programme, with hosts that regularly spewed venom toward Meghan, sometimes under the guise of just giving their opinion. They became one of the biggest platforms for negative royal commentary. Except for a few rare voices of reason like Denise Welch, the panel often mirrored tabloid headlines instead of challenging them. But now, the tides are turning. One social media user said it best: "I guess hate doesn't sell after all." And they were absolutely right. These programmes are slowly dying because audiences are shifting. People are more socially aware now. They recognise when bias is being packaged as news or entertainment. And more importantly, the younger generation isn't buying into the narrative that Meghan and Harry are villains in some royal soap opera. ITV and other networks are realising that negativity isn't profitable in the long run. And let's be honest, Meghan and Harry are no longer just royals. They're global influencers, humanitarians and activists. Their value transcends titles. While their critics spiral into irrelevance, Meghan and Harry continue to rise. They don't waste time clapping back at every insult. They don't throw tantrums or launch smear campaigns. Instead, they focus on impact, on legacy, on purpose. And that brings us to some very exciting news from the Invictus Games Foundation. If there's one project that defines Prince Harry's post-royal legacy, it's the Invictus Games. And let me tell you, it's thriving. Just recently, the Invictus Games Foundation revealed that 6 countries have submitted formal expressions of interest to host the 2029 Games. Let me list them for you: Aalborg, Denmark; Abuja, Nigeria, Daejeon; South Korea, Kyiv; Ukraine, San Diego; USA, Veneto region, Italy. This is absolutely incredible. Countries from all over the world, across Europe, Africa, Asia and North America, are literally competing to be part of Harry's vision. Why? Because the Invictus Games are no longer just a sporting event. They are a symbol of resilience, community and healing for wounded veterans and their families. This is what purpose looks like. This is what true leadership looks like, and it's being led by Prince Harry. Now let's contrast that with another event that's supposed to represent unity: the Commonwealth Games. A few years ago, the Commonwealth Games were a big deal. But over time, and especially after Harry and Meghan's departure from royal duties, the cracks began to show. Australia backed out of hosting. Canada followed. Malaysia became the second country to publicly reject the 2026 Commonwealth Games, citing high costs and limited benefits. It's clear countries no longer see value in hosting an event tied to outdated colonial symbolism. Meanwhile, they're eager to embrace the inclusive, forward-thinking, purpose-driven Invictus Games. You really can't make this up. Now here's where it gets interesting and a little suspicious. Despite cutting Harry off financially and removing his security, the royal family has tried to align themselves with the Invictus Games whenever it's convenient. Why? Because they see how popular it is. They see how the brand is thriving, and they want to benefit from the positive press. But let's not forget, it was Prince Harry, not the firm, who founded these games. It was Harry, not William, who stood shoulder to shoulder with wounded veterans, heard their stories and built a global platform for them. The games grew because of Harry's passion, not because of palace funding. So now, when Buckingham Palace tries to cozy up to the Invictus Games, it's not out of support. It's out of desperation. And let's talk about Meghan for a second. Behind every public speech Harry gives, behind every veteran honoured on stage, Meghan is there not for the cameras, but for the cause. She shows up for the athletes, she comforts the families, she cheers from the sidelines. And this isn't performative, it's genuine. You can tell from how veterans talk about her. They praise her warmth, her kindness, her interest in their stories. This is the woman British tabloids tried to paint as cold and calculating. What a joke. Meghan and Harry have redefined what it means to be royal, not by blood, not by titles, but by actions. While other royals attend ribbon-cutting ceremonies and gala dinners, Harry and Meghan are building foundations, podcasts, series and conversations that will outlast palace traditions. They are modern, global, impactful and, yes, unstoppable. And the media, clinging to outdated tropes, simply can't keep up. If you've ever been gaslit, ignored, mistreated or underestimated, Meghan and Harry's journey is a blueprint for rising above. They remind us that integrity wins in the end, purpose outlasts propaganda, and love, true, consistent love, beats every headline. The fall of toxic programs like Loose Women, the failure of the Commonwealth Games, and the overwhelming success of the Invictus Games are not just isolated events, they're signs of a cultural shift. And Meghan and Harry are leading it. So what do you think? Are you rooting for any particular country to host the 2029 Invictus Games? Let me know in the comments below. And to all the haters who built careers off Meghan and Harry's names, this is your reminder: hate doesn't sell. But purpose? Purpose never goes out of style. I'm Adrian, and this has been Meghan and Harry Tales. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe and share this video with someone who needs a little reminder that the good guys are still winning. Until next time, take care of yourselves and keep standing for truth. Bye.